Following Trump's executive action, essentially ending subsidies to private insurers to help keep costs low for the poorest Americans so they can afford health care, there was a bipartisan effort by Senators Lamar Alexander and Patty Murray to continue the funding for another 2 years until they can come up with a better solution. Now, after this legislation was made public, Trump stated just as recently as yesterday that he was supportive of the efforts. However, he has completely changed course today. In fact, he changed course last night and decided that he was no longer supportive of the legislation. Now he's saying, I am supportive of Lamar, meaning Senator Lamar Alexander, as a person and also of the process, but I can never support bailing out insurance companies who have made a fortune with Obamacare. Also speaking to reporters later Wednesday, Trump said that if something can happen, that's fine, but I won't do anything to enrich the insurance companies. So again, he has completely flip-flopped on this issue, and it seems as though he is no longer supportive of this bipartisan effort.
So let's dive into, in this case, it's a little bit of hypocrisy, but it's mainly that Trump doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Before he flip-flopped, he had said, this is the bipartisan compromise was a quote short-term solution so that we don't have this very dangerous little period for insurance companies. So that's a dangerous period for insurance companies, and he doesn't want them to be in danger. Then he flips around and goes, I'm not supporting bailout of insurance companies. They're already getting too rich. Wait. Do you have any idea what you're doing? Do you know what's in the bill?
No, he doesn't.
Do you know what's in your executive order?
Idea.
Like, and which side are you on? It doesn't. Whoever he talked to last, and so yesterday he talks to the establishment Republicans. In fact, we showed you he had met with Mitch McConnell. They whispered sweet nothings in his ear, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense. This is a dangerous period for the insurance companies. We have to protect insurance companies, and they're our donors, right, Mitch? Yeah, right. Okay, great." Comes out and says that, and then he talks to whoever. I don't know if it's Steve Bannon or some populist or whatever. And oh no, I'm sorry. It's actually, I know who it is. It's Club for Growth and the incredibly rich donors. And now there's donors on a couple of different sides here, right? But the donors who want to kill Obamacare, the reason they want to do it, like Club for Growth, is because remember, there's still that $700 billion in tax cuts that the rich can get if you get rid of Obamacare completely.
That's right.
And the Club for Growth represents those guys. So Club for Growth comes in and goes, Mr. President, no. The insurance companies are getting bailouts. Now, you want to know what the reality is? The insurance companies are, yes, it's true, they're getting money from the government. Is it a bailout? No, it is to subsidize low-income Americans who otherwise can't afford insurance. Otherwise, the insurance company goes, there's no profit in insuring them, and I'm not going to do it. So the only reason to do it is so that those guys are insured. Now, you could insure them in different ways. You could do it directly through the government, but then they would howl even more, right? So it's not necessarily to help insurance companies, it's to help low-income Americans. And Club for Growth thinks, I'm not a low-income American. I want tax cuts for the rich, and I don't give a damn what happens to low-income Americans. They're gonna lose their insurance? I don't care.
Of course they don't care. But there's something that I haven't seen a lot of discussion about, and I'm curious if you noticed this as well. So as we know, if Trump doesn't get exactly what he wants, he will intimidate Congress, he will bully Congress, but if he doesn't get exactly what he wants, he will do what he wants unilaterally through executive action. And that's what happened with ending these subsidies for these insurance companies so they can subsidize low-income earners so they can afford insurance. It's interesting that his executive order attacked that specifically rather than the mandate, right? Because that was one of the issues that those on the right have been furious about. You're forcing us to buy insurance, you're forcing us to do this and that. Which, by the way, the whole point of the mandate, even though I think it's a flawed system, was to pressure young people, young healthy people to also buy insurance to keep the costs low for those who would otherwise have even higher premiums. But why didn't he get rid of that? So the mandate stays in place, but the subsidies end, meaning premiums will increase if you're poor and you can't afford that insurance, you're gonna have to pay that tax penalty at the beginning of the year when you file your taxes. Like, I don't know if he thought this through or if this was done intentionally, but I find it interesting that the first thing he did was attack the subsidies. And if he wanted to attack the subsidies, why didn't he also go after the mandate as well?
So I have the answers. First of all, did he think it through? Of course not. He's never thought anything through in his life. If you said to him, name the thing that you took away with an executive order last week, there's no way he can do it. It's cost sharing reductions.
I got rid of the bailouts.
The thing with the insurance company was outrageous, and I got rid of it, okay? Okay, but what is it called?
Many people told me that they were happy about that executive order, many people.
It was a beautiful, big, beautiful executive order. Okay, but what was it about? Anyway, and Schumer got really frustrated because remember, in the thing that he's now against was a bipartisan compromise. The Republicans and Democrats negotiated and came up with a compromise. And Schumer's like, he doesn't know what's in the bill. And so he keeps flip-flopping because he's never read it. So what's the real answer? What's going on? It's because Club for Growth steps in and goes, hey, Donald Trump, and by the way, Paul Ryan too, and Paul Ryan is the most bought man in America. You guys are now going to oppose this, otherwise you're going to lose your donor money. And so and why do they do it? Because not only does it help the rich eventually, but it's not that they are gratuitously want to hurt the poor. I don't think they're evil, right? I don't think so. You might disagree with me. It's because they know that the poor are powerless and can't fight back. So the first thing they're going to take away is anything that helps the poor, and they are funded by wealthy Americans. So they tell Trump, that thing you don't know what it is, go back to taking it away. And he's like, oh, okay, all right. Wait, are you with Trump? Are you going to give big, beautiful donor money to Donald Trump? You are? Okay, great, then I'm with you. I'm back to with you. I'm going to put a tweet on that. If you like the Young Turks, you'll love Young Turks membership. TYTnetwork.com/join.